And here is the Writer's Almanac for Thursday. It's the 17th of June, 2021. It was on this day in 1901 that the first standardized tests were administered by the College Board for college admission. Before the standardized test came along, many universities had their own college entrance exams, but the number of college students had grown rapidly between 1890 and 1900, and the founders of the College Board thought having a standardized test would help to simplify curricula at the high school level and make a college education accessible to a wider pool of applicants. And so the tests were given. They were tested in English, French, German, Latin, Greek, history, mathematics, chemistry, and physics. And the tests were essays. They were not multiple choice. So the first college boards were achievement tests. They tested students' proficiency in certain subjects. And a couple of decades later, the College Board switched over to aptitude tests intended to measure intelligence, just in case your high school did not teach ancient Greek. But one motive for the aptitude test was to limit the influx of immigrants and particularly Eastern European Jews to the student bodies of Ivy League schools. A dean at Columbia University thought the high numbers of recent immigrants and their children would make the school, quote, socially uninviting to students who come from homes of refinement. These college officials believed that immigrants had less innate intelligence than old-blood Americans and would score lower on aptitude tests, which would give the schools an excuse to admit fewer of them. But it simply turned out not to be true. In any case, the new aptitude tests were known as the Scholastic Aptitude Test, the SAT, and the first was given in 1926. It's the birthday of the poet Ron Padgett, born Tulsa, 1942, the son of a bootlegger. And it's the birthday of John Hersey, born in Tientsin, China, to American missionaries in 1914, whose nonfiction piece, Hiroshima, 31,000 words long, appeared in the New Yorker magazine on August 31st, 1946, a magazine with a cover featuring a picnic scene with people sunbathing and swimming and playing mandolins. Hersey's piece took up the entire issue of the magazine. Here's a poem for today by Faith Sheeran entitled Spelling Bee. In the spelling bee, my daughter wore a good brown dress and kept her hands folded. There were 12 children speaking into a microphone that was taller than they were. Each time it was her turn, I could barely look. It wasn't that I wanted her to win, but I hoped she would be happy with herself. The words were too hard for me. I would have missed chemical, thermos, and dessert. Each time she spelled one correctly, my heart became a bird. She once fluttered so restlessly beneath my skin, and on the morning of her arrival, her little red hands held nothing. Her life since has been a surprise. She can sew, she can draw, she can read. She hates raisins but loves science. All the parents must feel this, watching from the cheap folding chairs. Somewhere inside them, love took shape, and now it stands at the microphone, spelling. Faith Sheeran's poem Spelling Bee from her collection Moving the Piano, published by Stephen F. Austin State University Press and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac, funded by donations from listeners like you, now available on PRX for distribution by your local radio station. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.